Welcome back to another video. When I bought this van, I didn't do the conversion, so the electrics are a bit hit and miss on it, so I've no way of running my fridge when the van is moving unless I run it off solar panel. That's not really ideal. It's okay when it's on hookup because I've tested it, but what I want is a 12 volt to kick in when I'm moving. So if I'm travelling 500 miles up to Scotland, I want that van to be cooling my fridge while I'm doing it. So what I bought, you see that? It's not very clear there. It's a relay to fit. It's a 4-pin relay, quite common. I've fitted them before. And what it does, when it's in the ignition on, I don't just mean put it on for the radio, I mean when it's on and all the lights on the dash are lit up. I want this to be switched to enable my 12 volt fridge to start working. So it'll probably only normally be switched in that position when all them lights are on, when I'm starting the engine up. I can leave it just on ignition only on the first turn of the key. I still have the radio on and it won't turn my fridge on. So if I'm sat there for an hour or so listening to the radio, the fridge isn't going to drain my battery. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to connect this up. I'll show you it working, and then hopefully it's going to be ideal for doing my fridge. It's a generic one off eBay. I think it was £3. They're all the same. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, for £3 I'll just get another one. But once it's connected up, I'm sure it'll be fine. As I've already said, this is a generic relay, so it's just come in a plastic bag with a little fixing on there to screw it to something, the headboard or whatever. But they're all numbered and they're all more or less the same. So I've done a little diagram here to help you to explain what the numbers are. So they go from 85, which goes to ground on the van. 86 is your switch unit. 87 goes to the appliance, which in my case is a fridge. And 30 is the main feed in from your battery, and that has to be fused. My fridge is 10 amp fridge, so I'll probably put a 10 amp fuse in there. I might put a 15 amp in. I've not decided yet. But the main concern here is going to be this one, your ignition switching. You've got to get the feed from the ignition, otherwise you'll end up with your fridge being on, possibility of it being on all the time. And what I mean by ignition switch, I mean, if you can just see there, when I do that, that's the ignition switch on. Okay, I've actually taken my feed from my heater, so if I put that on, that's running while the ignition's on. Once the ignition is off, that stops, and that's killed the power to the fridge. So that fridge will not be on, even though you can see, I don't know if you can just see down there, the light is on to say there's a door open, but that is just your first ignition on your switch. It's not actually doing that, but your first turn on the ignition, that would power my radio. So I'm not going to be sat there with that on all the time, draining the power off my fridge. It's going to be in that position when I've got the radio on, or the fridge will be turned off. So bear that in mind, guys. You need to find a source, an ignition source, from somewhere along here. Glove compartment is ideal because they're easy to get to, but unfortunately on this van there is no light, there's no glove compartment light. Cheap bastards. So we'll run the cable from the back of this. I won't show you all the connection because I've already done all that and I've put it all back together. Cable's gone through back into the back of the van, ready to be connected up to the relay. Join me in a bit. So I've done all the connections. This one is from the ignition switch and marked up with a bit of brown tape. This one is the feed to my fridge. This one is connected to the battery with a 10 amp inline fuse, which I'll leave in for the time being. If it blows, then I'll put a bigger one in, but I think 10 amp should do it. Now I forgot to mention, I've not taken this direct from my crank battery. To make it easier for me, I've just joined it to where my crank battery comes into my just see that, into my split charger for the leisure battery. So it's on that side of the split charger, so there's no chance of any power being pulled off the leisure battery. So that's just, I've just done that to make it easier for me. Finally, the last one is my earth. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to test it to make sure it's working before I connect it all up to this fan here. It's only a 12 volt fan, so I've got the ignition on. Just bear with me while I set it up, and we'll see if it works. So all I'm going to do, I've got my ground and my ignition feed. I've got the ignition on in the van. All I want to do is just to make sure that the power is coming through the ignition. Just got to stick them wires in there. Hopefully that fan, oh there you go, it's working nicely. And I'm actually going to use this fan in a future project, put it on top of the fridge to cool the fridge down even better when the 12 volt system kicks in. My 4 connections, spade ends on, ready to go into the relay. Now even though there are numbers on that side of the relay, they are imprinted. I don't think you can see them, but they are numbered up next to the connectors. But if you're in any doubt, keep your sheet handy, close, and just follow the instructions on that. And just move the camera. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is connect our fuse feed, right, and that's going to go into number 30. So we'll put that on number 30. And we're going to go to the switch, which is number 86 on the relay. Connect that to 86. The appliance, which is number 87. Connect the appliance. And lastly, the earth, the ground, which is 85. And there they all are, connected up. This will just sit on that little bracket there that came with it. So I'll put that on and then we'll see if the fridge is working. Okay, so that's on its retaining clip there. You can see in the van the ignition is on. So what we have to do, when we move through, is turn it on and up, it lights up, which it does do. Yay, another good job done. So that's easy done, and that's how to connect an ignition relay to your fridge, or it doesn't have to be your fridge, any appliance, and it will only take power from the crank battery whilst the van is moving. Nothing's coming from the leisure battery, which is what I want. So hope you've enjoyed that video, guys, and until the next one.